Hey everybody, it's your old pal Steve from RUNMOORE, this fabulous brick and mortar running shop located in Westminster, Maryland. We wanted to take a minute today and dive into the Altra Experience line. These were the shoes that came out in 2024 that all had a 4mm drop to it, which was a massive directional change for the brand. You know, the brand has been out for 15 years now, and for a long time, they very much prided themselves on zero drop, rounded foot-shaped toe box. That's all we're gonna do in different variations of cushion and arch profile and outsole and all that good stuff. Well, about year and a half ago or so, they came out with this, hey, we're gonna start adding drops to a couple of our shoes. And it has been really interesting to see how many people have been very angry one way or the other about it. For us, really enjoy it because it means we have more Altra shoes to try and pull and put people into and kind of get their sense of the brand. But it really was something that polarized people because it sort of changes what they said. For so many years, it's like, you need a zero drop shoe. This is what we think is best for your body. And then just sort of walk it back and say, just kidding. We actually think there's some really good advantages of having a higher drop shoe. It made people sort of feel like they were getting pushed in different directions from the brand here. But I think for a lot of people, it actually gave them a chance to try something that had a higher drop and work their way to a lower drop. You know, a zero drop shoe for some people is a totally drastic change. Most people, especially that are old school runners, have been wearing shoes with 8 to 10 millimeters of drop in them for so long. It really hasn't been until the last 10 or 15 years that we've seen brands make a conscious effort to drop it down. So for some people that were used to that high drop shoe and then dropping all the way down to a zero, it could cause some changes in their body. I mean, we always hear people, my calves were pulling and this was feeling different. I had no idea that 10 millimeters of drop could make such a drastic effect on my stride. So we do have people that are now saying, my goal is to go to zero drop. And so now I can take an 8, 10 millimeter drop shoe and then try something in the Experience line. And then maybe in a year, I'll go all the way down to a zero. So we have people from different variations that are using this for maybe they're stuck in a 4mm drop or using this as a check down from a higher down to a zero drop shoe. So for whatever your reasons may be for trying the Experience line, for us, it has been a success. And for the brand, it has been a success. And for at least through 2025, these 4 models that we're going to talk about are the only shoes that Altra is going to have in that 4mm line. And they share some characteristics, and then they have a lot of things that are different. So let's just go through real quick and go through each of the 4 models in the Experience line and how they differentiate themselves. I've been holding the Flow, so you know what? Let's just go ahead and start with the Flow. The Flow is a 4mm drop shoe in the neutral everyday cushion category. There were 3 of these shoes that came out at the same time. We had the Flow, the Form, and the Wild. And all of these had the same 32mm down to 28mm, 4mm stack. They all have a similar width to them, and they all have a compressed EVA midsole to it. Nothing too crazy there. So these 3 came out, and there were 3 distinct categories, from a trail shoe to a stability shoe and to a neutral shoe. And for us, we feel like the neutral category, the Flow, is our biggest mover to it. They look spectacular. Altra has their different fits, from a standard to original fit to a slim, and this for us falls right there in the standard. Like, it's not too wide, it's not too narrow, it's right down the middle. It's not an overly complicated midsole. It has a little bit of a rocker platform to it. It has been a really great shoe for us. Just as impressive for us has been the Form. These 2 are, to us, the closest companion shoes together. You have your everyday trainer with stability. One of the things that separates this out from some of the other Altra stability categories is this shoe just has support on the midfoot. So if you're somebody who just overpronates, who's just more flat-footed and rolling to the inside, the Form is a great option. All the same things, EVA compressed midsole, nice rounded foot, blah, 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 blah. All that's the same between the Flow, but this is just the stability model. And then we have the trail model, the Wild. So this has the same fit, the same midsole, has a Max Trax outsole, which is the same midsole that they use on the Lone Peak. So this is just the similar everyday cushion. They're all priced in that $140 range. They all have a similar drop of 32 to 28 on your stack. Great all around. So we have a neutral, we have a stable, we have a trail. The big difference that came out this year was the Forward Via Experience, which came out in November of 2024. This is only one that has a different midsole. This has an Ego Flow, so much more of a flowy and bouncy shoe. Much more energy return on this guy than we're finding on the other 3 models we just discussed. Also a much more longer distance shoe in all the wider of the group. So if you really wanted to find that super wide, if you're somebody who's enjoyed the original fit on a lot of the other Altra products, the Via is going to be your best bet. I will tell you, just from a personal level, I have all of these shoes. I'm wearing the Vias right now. Very much like them, very comfortable. I like that 4mm drop. I have stuff that's 0, obviously, but this lineup for me has really done a good job of keeping my feet happy and having a variety of things to try in. I wear the crap out of the Wild as my dog walking shoe. I play golf in it. I've played disc golf in it. It is so comfortable, and there are some Altra shoes that don't fit my feet great, but all of these models, even though these are different widths, and sometimes I just don't have the best luck with the fit on Altra shoes, they all have worked well for my big fat foot with my bunions and everything. So I have found success in all of these. Our customer has found success in all of these, and Altra has as well. I think for people that have been with the brand for a while that are sort of ride or die with that 0 drop, there's been some hesitation to try these 4mm drop shoes, but I would tell you as a longtime Altra fan and wearer, and as a guy who sells these products, I think there's a lot of value having these different models in there, and I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you just said, you know what, I'm ride or die with a Rivera and I'll never try something like a Flow. But we actually think in 2025 we'll actually be probably lowering some of the 0 drop stuff we have there to make room for more of these, because they've just been doing well for us, and I think they're putting a lot of energy in the growth of this line. So, make sure you're following it, and if you're wanting to try one of these fine guys, we'll have a link down below, and if you enter promo code RUNMOORE, you'll save 10%, and we'll ship it out for free. Thanks so much for watching our channel. If you find yourself in the greater Westminster, Maryland area, stop on by and say hello, and as always, happy running, and we'll see you around town.